This is the most popular anti-dandruff shampoo in the planet. But if you live in the United States or Asia or right here in the Philippines, this exact bottle contains a chemical that the European Union just made completely illegal. The EU classified it under strict CMR rules, meaning regulators decided the risk profile no longer met cosmetic safety thresholds. But everywhere else, the industry tells you to rub it in your scalp every single day. I have been using this blue and white bottle for exactly 25 years. It was a bathroom staple, the universal smell of clean. But recently, I realized something that kept me out at night. Before I was in the 4th grade, I didn't even have dandruff. I have a short buzz cut. My scalp was healthy. The flakes started the exact same year my family switched to this massive commercial brand. I thought the shampoo was the cure. I thought I was fighting my own genetics. But what if I had it backward? What if the bottle wasn't fixing the problem, but actively fueling it? Welcome to the Buy Mind, where we decode the psychology of consumerism and figure out why we buy what we buy. Usually, we talk about ads or pricing tactics, but today we are going deeper. We are going under your skin. The US hair and scalp care market is projected to reach over $25.5 billion by 2030. Globally, it's a juggernaut expected to hit nearly $18 billion more. And the absolute largest segment of that massive pie? Anti-dandruff shampoo. It accounts for a staggering 40% of all revenue. But here is the twist. Approximately 50% of the global adult population experiences dandruff. The industry isn't just selling a product. They are monetizing a natural occurring human baseline. They took a normal biological function and turned it into a guaranteed perpetual customer base. And I call this subscription by biology. We all know about planned obsolescence in our tech. They break down after 2 years, so you have to buy a new one. But this is worse. This is when a product creates the physical, biological condition that forces you to keep buying it. Today, we are investigating the ultimate consumer trap. We're going to look at the legal loophole that allows a drug to masquerade as a cosmetic. We're going to look at why US prisoners use shampoo as a weapon for skin disease. And finally, I'm going to show you how I broke a 25-year addiction by using a 50 peso cream from a Chinese pharmacy. If you have flakes, stop scratching for a second and watch this. To understand the business model, you have to understand the biology. Dandruff isn't just dry skin. Your scalp is a biome. It's a forest floor, and right now living in the forest is a tiny microscopic fungus called Malassezia globosa. Now, don't freak out. Everyone has it, and it's supposed to be there. It feeds on sebum, not that sebum, the natural oils your body produces. The fungus eats the oil. It poops out oleic acid, and for about 50% of the population, that acid is a severe irritant. Your body panics, speeds up, cells turn over to shed the irritant, and boom, dandruff. Those are the flakes. But here is where it gets weird.
Weird.
Flip the bottle over. Look at the active ingredients. 1% zinc, pyrithione, or selenium sulfide or coal tar. Because it uses these active ingredients to treat medical condition, it is strictly regulated as a non-prescription drug. This allows the product to exist in a hybrid regulatory space, marketed like a daily cosmetic, but regulated like an over-the-counter drug. It sits right in the beauty aisle, next to the harmless body wash, but biologically, it is a chemical sledgehammer. Zinc pyrithione, ZPT, is an antifungal nuke. When it hits your scalp, it wipes out the Malassezia. The flakes are gone. You get a massive dopamine hit in your buyer's brain, saying, wow, this stuff actually works. But that chemical nuke combined with heavy foaming sulfates doesn't just kill the fungus. It strips everything. I mean, everything. It destroys your acid mantle, the invisible protective moisture barrier of your skin. Your scalp is now naked, dehydrated, and chemically burned. What does your body do when it's desperately dry? It creates an emergency response. It pumps out massive unnatural amounts of oil to compensate for what the shampoo stole. You go from dry to greaseball in 24 hours. And guess who loves a greaseball? The fungus comes back, but this time, there's an all-you-can-eat buffet of fresh, emergency oil waiting for it. The population explodes, the irritation returns, the flakes come back like a stampede of bison. Dermatologists call this Dandruff Whiplash. The cure mimics the exact symptom of the disease. If you try to switch to a normal shampoo, your compromised scalp freaks out. The flakes return with a vengeance, so what do? You reach for that blue and white bottle again. You nuke the scalp again. The product created the exact biological condition that requires you to keep buying it over and over and over again. And this is how the incentive structure works. The industry didn't build a $17 billion empire by just selling soap or shampoo in this matter. They built by capitalizing on social anxiety. Before the 1960s, dandruff was a minor, private, medical annoyance, but brands introduced legendary marketing campaigns centered around a new idea. You never get a second chance to make the first impression. That was a calculated shift. It moved dandruff from private annoyance into major public social stigma. In their classic ads, the core narrative always centered around the absolute horror of someone spotting flakes on your shoulder on a date. They amplified the social anxiety and then positioned their OTC drug as the only acceptable daily shield. But to make sure you keep buying it, they had to invent something I call the Minty Lie. We have been Pavlovian conditioned to believe that clean has a specific feeling. We think glycerin works because it burns. We think toothpaste works because the mint is intense. They added heavy foaming agents and menthol to the shampoo, not because it heals the scalp, but because the burn creates a psychological anchor. And you can watch all of this in our past video. If it tingles, it's working. If it hurts, it's healing. But let me give you the darkest proof that this stuff is a violent drying agent and not the moisturizer they claim it is.
¿Sientes que la comezón se apodera de tu cabeza?
Kenalin, gue Zaki. Gue bintang iklan baru Head & Shower.
Always starts out small, so you give it no mind.
In US prisons, inmates have limited access to healthcare. Do you know what the #1 prison hack is for treating severe weeping eczema or wet rashes? They use Head & Shoulders. They smear it on the rash and let it dry. It is so powerful at stripping moisture that literally dries out weeping wounds. And think about that. You are putting a chemical strong enough to dry out prison wound on your head every single day. In the 1900s, people washed their hair once a week. Today, the industry tells us it must be daily. Lather, rinse, repeat. Why repeat? There is no biological reason to repeat. It just makes you consume twice as much product, forcing you back to the store twice as fast. Now look at this loop. Level 1, buy the cure for your anxiety. Level 2, strip the scalp and cause contact dermatitis. Level 3, trigger dandruff whiplash when you try to stop. Level 4, buy more shampoo to fix the whiplash. It is the perfect infinite loop. And I was stuck for 25 years. I decided it was time to break free from the cycle. I wanted my scalp and my wallet back. But breaking an addiction to an OTC drug isn't easy. I treated this like a scientific experiment. I tried 3 different methods to escape the trap. First, I trusted science. I bought a clinical medicated shampoo called Iraldone. This stuff is like Head & Shoulders on steroids. It's the alpha gorilla of shampoos. It stung, it smelled medical, but did it work? Yes, it calmed my scalp and the flakes stopped completely. But it cost 3 to 4 times more than the commercial grocery store brands. I realized I hadn't escaped the consumer trap. I had just upgraded to a more expensive, premium prison cell. So I went to the absolute opposite extreme. I did the unthinkable. I stopped washing my hair. For 5 straight days, no shampoo, just water. I wanted to starve the cycle, let your scalp rebalance its own natural oil production, and let me tell you, the dandruff whiplash was brutal. The withdrawal phase is real. My head was incredibly itchy. I looked like I had dipped my head in a deep fryer. But by day 5, the oil actually slowed down. My body realized it didn't need to panic anymore. The barrier finally started to heal. But I couldn't walk around looking greasy in meetings forever. I live here in the Philippines, so it's humid, it's hot, you sweat just by standing still. I needed a middle ground. I switched to an organic, affordable anti-dandruff shampoo from Human Nature. No harsh chemical stripping, no ZPT, it doesn't foam as much, it doesn't give you that fake tingle. It feels boring, and biologically, boring is exactly what you want. But here is the secret. My barber told me something that commercials and the dermatologists didn't. And you always listen to your barber. Like when they said, look down, look up, side to side, or else you get a bad haircut. He looked at my head and said, sir, you don't just have dandruff. You have a mild scalp eczema. He told me to get this BL cream. If you are from the Philippines, you probably know about this. It costs 50 pesos at around $1 at the Chinese pharmacy. I used it for a few days on the specific trouble spots. The flakes vanished. And because I was no longer chemically stripping my entire scalp daily, they didn't come back. I didn't need an endless supply of expensive shampoos. And here in the Buy Mine, we believe an informed consumer is a powerful consumer. If you want to stop the feeding the machine, you don't need a $30 clinical wash. You need to fix the systemic damage. You can do it with 3 pillars, and you can find them in your household. Pillar number 1, repeat the barrier. Use coconut oil as a pre-game before your shower. It mimics your natural sebum, locking in moisture and fixing the barrier that the commercial shampoos annihilated. Pillar number 2, restore the pH. Your scalp is naturally acidic. Commercial soap or shampoos is highly alkaline. Apple cider vinegar restores your scalp's acidic pH naturally, creating an environment where the Malassezia fungus simply cannot survive. And pillar number 3, reduce inflammation. Use aloe vera gel to soothe the irritation. If you stop scratching, you stop creating micro tears in the skin, which stops the flakes. Repair, restore, and reduce. Use a medicated shampoo only as a temporary reset. Use it once to break the fungal flare-up. Then immediately switch to these gentle pillars for your daily care. Think about it like this. You wouldn't take a broad-spectrum antibiotics every single day, just in case you might get a cold. You know that you will destroy your gut microbiome and your kidneys. So why on earth do we do the exact same thing with our scalp microbiome using FDA-regulated drugs every morning in the shower? Big shampoo conglomerates want you to think you're battling your own body. They want you to think your genetics are broken and that they are selling you the fix. But the truth is, you're battling an incentive structure. You are fighting a $17 billion industry profiting off the social anxiety they manufactured decades ago. So I have to ask you, what is one product you thought was an absolute hero, but turned out to be keeping you trapped in an endless cycle? Drop your stories in the comments below. Let's decode them together. If this video changed the way you look at your bathroom cabinet, hit the like button, share it with a friend, and subscribe.